Investec Champions Cup Team of the Week. Henry Pollock backs up his chat against hapless Bulls while Le Boss earns individual gong. Finally, the South African sides are turning up in Europe as the Stormers and Sharks gave us the performances of the weekend, alongside Toulon's disposal of Bath in a Mayal Classic. Here's our Team of the Week for Round 2. 15 Mike Haley, Munster. The Munster backline and grabbed a try himself. Glasgow's Josh McKay was another that really caught the eye in the dry gloom of Scottstown, whilst Bristol's Benjamin Elizalde looks like yet another brilliant piece of Puma business for Pat Lam. Toulon's Matthijs Furt is getting a lot of attention in the French press and on Sunday's showing. It's easy to see why. 14 Dylan Mart, Stormers. The Cape-based outfit were on fire in Gqeberha as they crushed a below-strength La Rochelle. Bristol's Calavetti Revuvu got on the scoreboard yet again in their romp against Section Palace, whilst Bath's Joe Kokonasiga shone in the air against Toulon despite his team's loss. 13 Ethan Hooker, Hollywoodbits Sharks. There's a few in South Africa that reckon Hooker's best test position is at outside center, where his size and power come into their own. Toulon's Nacho Brex is bedding in his new club and crossed the whitewash for a crucial score at the Mayal, whilst Glasgow's Stafford McDowell once again starred in a memorable win for the Scottish side. 12 Yoram Mofana, Bordeaux Begals. Mofana delivered a showing that reminded us all of what France have been missing during his injury, as he starred outside the mercurial antics of Matthew Jalibert at 10. Andre Esterhuizen delivered a massive game for the Sharks as he dominated the gain line in the Durban summer rain, and kudos must go to Toulon's durable utility man Jeremy Sinzel, as he reached 100 caps for a third top 14 team and defended his socks off in a classic. Elsewhere, Munster's Alex Nankervel was outstanding against an albeit understrength Gloucester. 11 George Hendy, Northampton Saints. A hat-trick hero in a demolition, as Hendy teased the hapless Bulls' defense all afternoon at Franklin's Gardens. Louis Bielbayeri got on the scoresheet once again, of course he did, whilst Leicester's Ollie Hassel-Collins managed to grab a defiant score despite the loss against Leinster. Northampton Saints player ratings. Finn Smith, a class above as Henry Pollock wreaks havoc over Bulls. 10 Adam Hastings, Glasgow Warriors. Where on earth do we start at 10? Shining performances from Sacha Feinbergem and Ngomzulu, Jalibert and Marcus Smith made our selectorial life so tough. But the comeback against Toulouse in the rain was the stuff of legend, and we simply cannot overlook Hastings. Brilliance in the downpour. Absolutely outstanding, and for the reason of quality of opposition, we're going with Hastings. 9 Cobus Reinarch, Stormers. For the second week running, the electric veteran was exceptional for the Stormers. Alex Mitchell and Rafi Quirk showed England are stacked at 9 now, whilst George Horne and Baptiste Sarin drove Glasgow and Toulon to memorable victories. Finally, Harlequins. Will Porter was on fire alongside Smith as he grabbed 2 in the stoop send-off of Bayonne. The forwards. 8 Henry Pollock, Northampton Saints. He might be a big personality, but he's got the big plays to back his chat up. Massive, entertaining, and rapid were the descriptors of his performance. Glasgow's Jack Dempsey is unlucky to miss out, as is Caelan Doris and Evan Roos back to his best form. Finally, a word for Lucas Angisaramachi, the 19-year-old La Rochelian. He was thrown into the Stormers' den and gave an assured display despite his team's loss. 7 Charles Olivan, Toulon. Le Boss is back. There's few players able to impact a match both sides of the ball like the massive French flank, and he dragged his team home versus a very competitive Bath side as he's our player of the weekend. Paul de Villiers pushed him all the way as the Stormers' open side shone once more. Glasgow's Rory Darge managed to outplay the king of the floor battle, Jack Willis, whilst Bristol's Fitz Harding was the heartbeat of their romp at Ashton Gate. 6 Gregor Brown, Glasgow Warriors. If ever a player was deserving of the tag Warrior, it's the big blindside who was in monumental form in the Scottstown deluge. Absolutely brilliant for the second week in a row. Bath may have lost the war, but Ted Hill and Lewis Ludlam had a battle royale in Toulon, both men shining in a fantastic match for their respective teams, while Sale's Jacques Vermeulen is unlucky not to get selected after an excellent showing. Glasgow v Toulouse. 5 takeaways as Warriors claim one of their greatest victories to spoil Antoine Dupont's first start since return. 5 Ben Bamber Sale Sharks. There's a growing momentum about this massive man's game. England need properly big locks, and he's the biggest one around. Alex Coles is another, and he grabbed a try in a great day for Saints, whilst another Englishman, Joe Batley, once again showed his appetite for the try line for Bristol Bears. Popular ON Planet Rugby. Rassie Erasmus has been lucky, but will Springboks move blow up in their faces? Rassie Erasmus has been lucky, but will Springboks move blow up in their faces? Top 5 fantasy scorers. Ange Capuozzo tops the bill while veteran South African Sharks fans. Top 5 fantasy scorers. Ange Capuozzo tops the bill while veteran South African Sharks fans. 4 Kieran Treadwell Harlequins. It says a lot about the quality of the action this weekend that 68-point Quins only get 1 player in the team and he's a lock. Nevertheless, Treadwell grabbed a score and dominated the lineout, as he sees off J.J. van der Mescht and Joe McCarthy, both of whom delivered big games for Saints and Leinster. 3 Xander Fagerson Glasgow Warriors. A really tough choice between the Scottish tighthead and England's Toulon-based Kyle Sinclair. Both men put in brilliant performances, but despite Fagerson's early scrum issues, the way he led the Warriors through personal example was absolutely outstanding, so he takes the shirt. 2 Dan Sheehan Leinster. The try-scoring machine did it again as he put in another world-class performance off the bench. Bongi Mbonambi was in scrummaging beast mode for the Sharks, whilst Gregor Hiddleston was another Glaswegian hero in their win over Toulouse. Finally, Teddy Bobigny crossed for a vital try for Toulon at the Mayal as he defined impact off the bench. 1 Ellis Genge, Bristol Bears, scored the fastest try of the weekend as he crossed in the first play of the game, and the floodgates opened from there, as he enjoyed romping around Ashton Gate with ball in hand. UBB's Jefferson Poirot is as important to his team as Genge is to Bears, and he put in another vintage display, crossing for a try. Whilst both Jean-Baptiste Gros and Danny Prizo gave Toulon maximum value from the loosehead shirt, as they got the better of a very good Bath front row. Read more. Bristol v Pau. 5 takeaways as Pat Lamb's Hungry Bears give top 14 high flyers, the mother of all maulings. Bath. Henry Pollock. Latest from the network is going to make way for Temba Bavuma's test return. Cricket 365. Who is going to make way for Temba Bavuma's test return? Ollie Phillips inspired by hero. Kevin Sinfield ahead of Atlantic Ocean. Challenge as race briefing brings back Jonah Lamu, sensation. Ollie Phillips inspired by hero. Kevin Sinfield ahead of Atlantic Ocean. Challenge as race briefing brings back Jonah Lamu, sensation. Northampton v Bulls. 5 takeaways as irrepressible Henry Pollock shines in Saints' one-sided triumph. Trending Northampton v Bulls. 5 takeaways as irrepressible Henry Pollock shines in Saints' one-sided triumph. Springboks legend offers proposal to World Rugby after talk of 6 nations and Rugby Championship alignment. Trending Springboks legend offers proposal to World Rugby after talk of 6 nations and Rugby Championship alignment. Learn Arda Güler response after initial contacts as Chelsea battle erupts amid direct approach for new N'Golo Kant. TEAM talk man learn Arda Güler response after initial contacts as Chelsea battle erupts amid direct approach for new N'Golo Kant. Who's hot and who's not? Quite incredible Glasgow comeback. Slightly bizarre Eben Etzebeth and Ireland stars stinker. Trending who's hot and who's not. Quite incredible Glasgow comeback. Slightly bizarre, Eben Etzebeth and Ireland stars stinker. Sonny Bill Williams issues Super Rugby plea to South Africa, who are playing hard to get. Trending Sonny Bill Williams issues Super Rugby plea to South Africa, who are playing hard to get. Pat Lam drops All Blacks truth bomb, as New Zealand rugby need a reality check. Trending Pat Lam drops All Blacks truth bomb, as New Zealand rugby need a reality check. Harlequins player ratings. England contingent in fine form, with Marcus Smith pulling the strings in emphatic win over Bayonne. Harlequins player ratings. England contingent in fine form, with Marcus Smith pulling the strings in emphatic win over Bayonne. Liverpool get big Real Madrid clue about Rodrigo future, after Jude Bellingham's forward verdict. TEAM talk Liverpool get big Real Madrid clue about Rodrigo future, after Jude Bellingham's forward verdict. Shockman Ut transfer target has just shown he'll dominate midfields at Old Trafford. TEAM talk Shockman Ut transfer target has just shown he'll dominate midfields at Old Trafford. Ranked the sexiest female boxers of all time. Trending Stuff 365 ranked the sexiest female boxers of all time. Facing the sack, 5 nations that could hire new coaches before the 2027 World Cup. Facing the sack, 5 nations that could hire new coaches before the 2027 World Cup. Former WTA star makes lavish Serena Williams comeback claim. Tennis 365 former WTA star makes lavish Serena Williams comeback claim. Richard Cockerill axed as Georgia boss after got what we deserved hammering. Trending Richard Cockerill axed as Georgia boss after got what we deserved hammering. Springboks Cheslin Kolb and Pieter Steph du Toit star on Japanese returns. Manny Libok debuts while Faf de Klerk suffers latest setback. Trending Springboks Cheslin Kolb and Pieter Steph du Toit star on Japanese returns. Manny Libok debuts while Faf de Klerk suffers latest setback. Related articles. Cade Walthuter and Henry Pollock Emmett. David Skippers. 14 Deck 2025. Northampton v Bulls. 5 takeaways as irrepressible Henry Pollock shines in Saints, one-sided triumph. Northampton Saints stars Henry Pollock and George Hendy, PA Images, and an inset of Finn Smith, INPHO Tom O'Hanlon / Epker Rugby. Jared Wright. 14 Deck 2025. Northampton Saints player ratings. Finn Smith, a class above as Henry Pollock wreaks havoc over Bulls. Alex Mitchell reveals the story that led to a loose night with Henry Pollock and the New Zealand lads. Jack Tunney. 11 Deck 2025. Alex Mitchell reveals the story that led to a loose night with Henry Pollock and the New Zealand lads. England back row Henry Pollock against New Zealand. James Weil. England v All Blacks. 5 takeaways as Henry Pollock leads Palm squad chaos in statement win while New Zealand are toasted.